we waiting? It's fine.
It's 5, okay, it is time.
David is here.
David is here, okay. I call the, what month is it, October Planning Commission, City of Auburn to order and ask the secretary to call the roll.
Dana Camp,
Here.
Nanette Reese, Robin Bridges,
Here.
Warren McCord,
Here.
Bob Reichenbach,
Here.
Wendy Birmingham, David Wisdom,
Here.
Joseph Astrup,
Here.
Bill Chancellor.
Here. We have a quorum, and we shall continue with our business. And our first order of business is citizens' communication. Is this on? Citizen communication. So if there's anyone here that would like to address, the Planning Commission regarding any issue related to land use and planning that is not part of an agenda item, this is the time for you to bring it to our attention now. And if you do come forward, please, anytime you come forward in our public hearings or at this portion of the meeting, sign in before or after you leave the podium. Is there anyone wish to bring anything to the attention of the Planning Commission that is not on the agenda? And I see no one, so we will move on to the old business, and we do not have any old business that I know of. That brings us then to our consent agenda. The consent agenda are those items that do not require a public hearing that has been before us in some way in the past, and we have already done a good bit of discussion on them. So do I hear, is there any item on the consent agenda that any member of the Planning Commission would like to remove for discussion? If not, I will entertain a motion for approval of the consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda,
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded.
including the minutes of the packet. and regular
That's right,
meeting.
excuse me, and the minutes are on the consent agenda as well. So, it's been made and seconded, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no, and the consent agenda is approved. Which brings us then to the new business, which actually begins with item 4 of our agenda, which is the Madison Park.
Lower the podium here.
Okay, with the new.
That's it.
Still
Good
short.
afternoon, everyone. The first item of new business is the Madison Park PDD, an amendment to the existing PDD to add .83 acres into the boundary, as well as removing 12,000 square feet of commercial space and 12,000 square feet of office space, and the addition of 15 multifamily residential units. The property is located on Wire Road. The PDD itself is about just over 11 acres, and with the addition of this property, it'll be a little over 12. The portion that is proposed to come into the PDD is zoned CDD currently. This is the approved master development plan. I'm sorry. The approved master development plan is not in here. The approved master development plan includes 37 residential properties located on this portion of the development. And in the center are the 2 commercial uses. You've got Dollar General and then Gray's Automotive. The approved plan shows this area here as commercial along Wire and office in the rear of the property. The future land use for the development is low to medium intensity mixed use for the portion that is outside of the PDD, and the existing PDD is obviously a PDD. The mixed use component is designated for mixed use commercial with residential, and obviously on a major corridor like Wire Road, the point is to have commercial uses on the street. And as the city continues to grow out this way and further past It's very important to leave that commercial uses on the street. And due to that, staff does recommend denial, since there are inconsistencies with the future land use plan. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you have, and the applicant is here this evening.
If there's no questions at this time of Katie, we will ask the petitioner if he'd like to come and discuss his proposal with us.
Good evening. So,
Can you state your name for the record?
Michael Musselwhite. You need the address or anything?
That's all right, we'll sign that when you'll.
Okay. We had our pre-development meeting. We've had 3 pre-development meetings on this project. We have met all engineering, all water, all power, all sewer, and we originally this was part of a PDD with 79 acres in it. And it went all the way back to where Tiger Transit Building is and the vacant land all the way back to the creek. And over the years, they've changed this, modified this, whittled down, but originally it was completely residential, completely. And then they wanted a mixed use. As the city grows, I understand that. But this is still mixed use because you have Madison Park condos, then you have some commercial pieces, and then our property. When we originally came in, as you see in the red line, part of the property was in the city and in the PDD, and part of it was out. But over the years, 40 acres has been taken out, and then it got whittled down again. So then it got down to 12 acres, and then now it was 10 acres, and now we're trying to make it back to 11. So when we met in the original pre-development meeting back in March, I believe it was March, Steve was the planning director at the time. And he stayed after the meeting, and he said, you know, our preference would be commercial, but you meet every single bit of the underlying zone, which is CDD. And he said, just because it's my personal opinion that it's commercial, you meet the requirements. He said because it's part of it's in the PDD and part of it's out. He said, and Brett couldn't be here today with Foresight. He's out of town, but Brett was there, and he told both of us. He said, what you need to do is remove the PDD because the rest of the PDD's been built out. So there's no reason to have the PDD involved anymore in this property. And he said, but the second option is to replace it, to bring it in and replace it with your plan. So that's what we've done. We came in April and we asked y'all to remove it, and you didn't want to do that. Well, it was actually a 3-3 vote. With 6 people attending. And then now the other option that he told us, and unfortunately he passed away, but you know, what he told us and what's in my notes and what Brett remembers is that the other option was just to add it into the PDD. But once again, this PDD that has been whittled down over time was 100% residential to begin with, 100%. And there's a whole history and write-up that's in staff notes from when we came through before that documents the entire history of this property. So anyway, I ask that y'all pass it. There's a lot of commercial coming out. Like you don't need, there's about a 1/4 acre on the front of that road. So I don't think a 1/4 acre for commercial is gonna make a difference to the city when there's a ton of commercial coming all around there. But it does affect this property, how to properly develop this 2.4 acres. It's got water, sewer, power, cable. It's got an access road. The other thing when we were talking Allison Engineering originally was they really don't want they didn't want a curb cut for commercial coming in off of Wire Road because there's a street there called Haley Lane on the north boundary, and just to the south of the corner of the property there, there's a curb cut on the adjoining landowners. So there's really not a space for another curb cut to bring commercial in right there. So, I mean, we've researched this ad nauseum. We've talked to people in the city, we've talked to council members, we've talked to engineers, surveyors, and this is a great plan. It meets all the needs of the growing community, and it's not that many units. It's 15 houses. We backed it down from 16, where we were here last time was 16. We've accommodated the neighbor with a deeded easement for access, so we're trying to be good neighbors. So we did that, and so we're down to 15 houses, and I would really, really appreciate your support tonight.
This type of development, this type of request requires a public hearing. And so I will open that public hearing right now if anyone wishes to address this regarding the issue one way or the other. I see no one coming forward, so we'll close the public hearing. Does the staff have any more to say before we start our discussion? No?
So the reason for staff's recommendation for denial is based on future land use plan. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. But currently, they meet requirements to do this as far as use, and mixed use allows residential.
It does, but the portion of the MDP the portion of the property that is proposed to come into the PDD has a mixed-use component. However, they're not showing mixed use. They're showing all residential.
They're also asking to add it to the PDD, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So if this addition wasn't added, then it would be, I'm trying to figure out, is that the part that seems to be the stickler?
So, sorry. This portion here, where the cursor is,
Yes?
that was slated to be commercial
In
On
the
which
current
P-
PDD.
on the
whole
PDD. Yes.
The 79 acres, I think.
No,
Oh,
no.
just
So
this-
originally, it was mixed use, residential and commercial. And then in 2007, 52,000 square feet of commercial was removed from the PDD and replaced with 120 residential units. And then in 2012, that's when about 40 acres was removed. And all of the remaining commercial uses were located along Wire Road.
I've got a question. You said that the land use designation is mixed use. How'd you characterize it?
Any sort of mixed-use residential and commercial or office.
Okay, so why does this appears to me that it's mixed use if you look at the whole
Right.
PDD, so what's the issue?
That we want to preserve the frontage of Wire Road to stay commercial.
But all along that street,
What street, Wire?
Wire,
Mm-hmm.
you have commercial, residential, commercial, residential.
Right,
And I think along Wire Road, you will see that, a number of those properties are transitioning. Some of the ones that are currently residential are not in the city or may have just recently annexed into the city, with a number of other mixed-use projects like this kind of in this corridor and down to Cox Road. A lot of those, we have, at our encouragement, have included commercial along the, commercial corridor frontage, similar to what the current PDD for this project shows.
In my opinion, the front of this would be naturally commercial. And the residential piece in the back is, that seemed to be, maybe good planning, but to take what's the width of that
Yeah.
parcel that fronts Wire Road that's under consideration tonight? Couple hundred feet?
Probably less than that. It's quite a narrow parcel.
It's not very large.
I don't know. I
But
don't have
anyway,
it.
that frontage is, you know, I think valuable as commercial. You've got, the residential is directly to the west of this, has been there quite some time, has it not?
You're talking about the,
To the
But
apartments
also
to the
not-
left, to the left
This
of the
right
road.
here?
That's, it's in,
yes, that is in the county.
Yeah.
But it
And
has
that's
not
been in that state for quite some time.
yeah. And has to until redevelopment.
I'm sorry?
And it has to until it redevelops, right?
Yes.
Or somebody asks for
Right.
something.
And just as a note, I did a quick measurement. The frontage on Wire Road for that parcel is roughly 170 feet for the area in question.
Now, I'm struggling here myself with knowing that any community has only a certain amount of commercial sites that are truly commercial sites. Has the traffic count, has the rooftops, all that make it a desirable commercial site. And I'd hesitate, because we're in a hot area for more residential, to use that. I would be much more comfortable if that front, I don't know how many feet it would take to keep in commercial, but that area is rapidly growing and it's gonna need more commercial out there.
But imagine it was 79 acres of all residential, and you have over 40 of commercial that has been left.
Yeah,
Where's that commercial?
Behind it, and then these two that have moved from the PDD.
well, the commercial, to me, it needs to be more up to the front according to what I've been constantly told by people who want commercial properties. All right, any more discussion? Anybody have any more questions? Is anyone prepared to make a motion? Can die for a lack of a motion. That'd be first for us, but we can do that.
I'm gonna move to approve RZ 2023-014.
For denial.
Nope.
Okay,
gonna move
we're
to approve it.
moving to approve it.
Yep.
To forward to city council with
Second.
a recommendation for approval.
Yes.
For
Been
approval.
made and seconded. Need an explanation of the motion. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no.
No.
Let's have a roll call, please.
Robin Bridges,
Yes.
Dana Camp,
Yes.
Bill Chancellor,
No.
David Wisdom,
Yes.
Warren McCord,
No.
Nanette Reese,
Yes.
Bob Reichenbaugh,
No.
Joseph Astrup.
No.
What is that, what's the count?
A tie.
Four.
4-4.
4-4? And it fails. That's why we have 9 members. No. Okay, we move on then to the next item, business, which is the East Glen mixed use. Who's doing that one?
Okay, here we go. It's at the car shop as
Ready?
Seem to be having technical
Are we
difficulties,
frozen
so
up here?
I think so.
Your keyboard's not working either?
Clicker's not working either. Clicker's not working either.
You click escape and see if that does anything.
Do it with charades. Or get a long pointer.
That worked.
You're controlling it now, Katie. Try it from there. Oh, yeah, try it again.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
All right, I guess we're good to go. This request is for a conditional use approval for a commercial and entertainment use at 1027 East Glen Avenue, just west of Cherry Street, or just east of Cherry Street. This property is currently zoned CRDE, Corridor Redevelopment East. To the north is DDH zoning district, and also to the south. To the east is the NC12 zoning district. All three are made up of single-family residential uses. To the west, you'll see the NC6 and the CRDE zones bordering the property. These are made up of duplexes that by today's standards would be considered non-conforming. The future land use designation for this property is mixed-use office and residential. The CRDE zoning district promotes the redevelopment and mixed-use character to a neighborhood and provides for intermediate residential densities and necessary commercial uses. Its target is at areas for renewal and redevelopment that will stabilize the nearby corridors to this property. The development as a whole received conditional use approval in May of 2023 for a mixed-use development with residential and office uses. As you can see by this site plan, the applicant is proposing a 2-story brewery and event space consisting of 8,500 square feet that will front East Glen Avenue. The brewery will be located on the first floor and will operate at a local scale manufacturing level. The event space will be private and on the second floor and will be closed off at the dates and times that a private event is not being held. The subject property will have a single access point off of Cherry Street, and with the subject property, this property at the corner of Cherry Street and East Glen is owned through common ownership, so they would be taking access and driving through to connect to the subject property. There's an outdoor seating and dining space that will have occasional live music present that is located between the brewery event space and the proposed restaurant on the far east corner of the property. Based on the provided site plan, adequate parking is present for the proposed uses. The minimum parking requirement may be reduced further than the provided site plan shows currently. However, the amount of parking provided at the site will remain the same. Planning staff will again review the parking requirements upon DRT submittal. Staff recommendation is approval with conditions, and there are a few conditions that I'd like to note with it. First, outdoor music will be limited to no amplified music after 9 p.m. to ensure there's no nuisance or negative impacts affecting the surrounding residential areas. Second, a traffic impact study is required for this development and this submittal. It has currently been submitted and is being reviewed by engineering. Last, a stub out will be provided at the far east point of the property. The applicant is present for any questions you may have and also has put together some renderings that were not able to be included in the packet materials.
Where's that stub
Stub
out?
out, yeah.
The stub out's going to be on the far east. It is not illustrated in this current site plan in front of you, but
You're proposing that as a condition.
yes, it's a requirement.
Before, this came before us, passed without that extra piece of property. And that, what was the access at that time? Was it a right in, right out?
That's correct.
Where was that? Was that where the courtyard is?
It went right through the courtyard space, yes. It just drove right out there and was a right in, right out to East Glen.
And the XL, decel lanes are proposed already without the DRT?
That's correct. They are proposed and they were included in the traffic impact study materials, so those are being reviewed as well.
I have a, can I ask a question? In our packet, it said that it was required 162 spaces, but they only had 157, so they were gonna have to, acquire additional 5 parking spaces. So they're not meeting the parking requirement, correct?
On the site alone, that is correct, but per the zoning ordinance, an adjacent property can share up to 20% of their parking spaces with an adjoining property. So in this case, of the 27 spaces that would be provided at the office use that adjoins at the corner of Cherry and Glen,
The,
they would get
the corner lot that was
Yes,
just.
that corner lot.
Okay, the
They could get a
corner lot.
maximum of 6.
But they're gonna have to have some more if they have this stub out, because it takes 3 parking places.
Agreed.
Okay.
So you'll see
Eight.
is a comment in our staff report that we will again review kind of the final parking requirements
Yeah.
during the DRT process. And, you know, I think some of the square footage is not necessarily associated with this conditional use, but with some of the other items on the site, such as the restaurant. You know, I think the applicant will share a little bit more information later, but I think what they're proposing now, again, not that the restaurant requires any sort of conditional use, but that square footage is coming down, reducing their overall parking. So based on that, they would be able to meet it all on this single parcel without any sharing of the office area. But again, that's something that we will once again review and confirm during the DRT process in permitting.
Okay. Any more questions? Well, then it's, we'll open the public hearing, and if there's anyone here that wishes to address this issue,
Okay.
well, yeah, before I do that, applicant have any more to add to this? Steve, Slocum, David?
Good evening, David Slocum. I'm the civil engineer for the development. Brian, I think we've also got these on
Tiffany,
some
if you could pull
slides.
those up as well, those slides.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Perfect. Okay. Is there a remote? Oh. Tiff, can you pull up that slide? The other slide?
To go next. Where's the top one there? Hold it down.
Okay, this is a little bit prettier picture than the one before, and we've made a few changes. We've done a lot of studying and meeting, and we think we come up with something that's really exciting for Auburn. I'm personally excited about being involved in it. And we've got some folks here with me tonight that knows a little bit more about the architecture and the operation of it. I do all the boring engineering stuff, but yeah, we will have a right turn lane on Glen and access the site from Cherry. We've got, okay, so y'all can see where I point. Great. So this is the office building, and we actually have a property line here, and we submitted a consolidation plat actually today to consolidate all this now that it's all one owner. And I'm not sure, Kevin, what that does as far as shared parking. Is a shared parking arrangement still required if you?
Well, with the reduced footprint of the restaurant area, you would still be able to meet all that parking there. So
Okay.
that sharing requirement wouldn't necessarily be there based on these square footages.
Okay, so after a lot of meetings and a lot of discussion, I feel like we've worked out all the details that we can until we get into design drawings and DRT and get with Allison and things like that. But
Where's
I'll
your
just-
stub out? You don't have
We're
cross-section.
not showing the stub out on this drawing, but we don't have an issue with that, and it would not occupy where spaces are. It would be aligned with this drive aisle. So it just is essentially be an extension of the drive aisle. So it wouldn't affect the parking spaces. But like you said, this would be a pizza restaurant, and I think it's gonna have a lot of glass on front to be incorporated with these outdoor spaces. We have a couple of food truck spots here. This building is the subject of the request tonight, the brewery and restaurant on the first floor, and event space on the second floor that would probably be mostly open for birthday parties and wedding receptions, something like that you could rent out. And then there's really no change on the townhomes in the back. And you see some green space and so forth scattered throughout there. But I'll be glad to answer any engineering-related questions if you have anything related to architecture or operation of the business. We have folks here tonight that can answer that much better than I can. And I think there's some more information that they wanted to share, so.
You want to share, has any more information you want to share?
Pretty much got it. You know, I think that, you know, just the whole focal point is this is something that's kind of unique to Auburn, that there's not really a space that has a outdoor venue like this. Is, you know, and you know, the way the topo of the project works, it's, you know, it slopes from kind of back to front, and so it's going to generate a retaining wall kind of terrace level that this will sit up high on. It'll be a really neat environment, you know. So we'll have, you know, bocce courts, shuffleboard courts, you know, a lot of outdoor seating. You know, we want to do like an artificial turf, you know, for the green spaces. I don't know if anybody's ever been to the Coastal restaurant down at Orange Beach, but it's kind of a similar feel to that. Fire pits, pergolas, you know, David kind of went over all of that. From an architectural standpoint, you know, the idea is we're trying to bring something unique to Auburn. And, you know, I'll put this up there where y'all can see it. But, you know, there's not really a warehouse district in Auburn, you know, and so kind of thought process is doing something a little different. You know, a lot of adjacent towns have a warehouse district, but kind of come up with a concept of, you know, warehouse buildings built late 1800s, early 1900s that have been freshly renovated into like kind of a modern industrial feel. So I think it'll be pretty cool. So, if you have any questions, be happy.
Any more questions of the applicant? Okay, thank you very much. Now make sure I'm clear here, Kevin. Basically, what's before us is the conditional use.
Correct, which is
Which
just
is
the
the
brewery
brewery.
and event space. The restaurant is
What's
by right, the
basically-
multifamily has already been previously approved under a separate
Basically, what's
conditional use.
before us is whether or not this is an appropriate site, compatible site for a brewery as described. Okay, now I'll open up the public hearing. If there's anyone here who wishes to address that, come forward. I see no one, so we'll close the public hearing and continue any discussion or comments from the commission. Anyone?
I have a couple comments.
Say again?
I have a couple of comments.
All right, do so, please.
Is my understanding, and the developer may want to answer this or to explain a little bit more. The restaurant and the brewery, I know we're not talking about the restaurant, but they will both share the outside patio.
That's correct. It's kind of trying to create a little entertainment district, and we'll fence in the area around around the restaurant and the brewery. And, you know, the restaurant, I have it in my packet. I don't know if it's in the packet, but we can say it's a Carvella's Pizza Restaurant. I don't know if y'all have ever been there. They have 5 locations in Georgia, and they're trying to move into Alabama, so they will be there. And then, you know, Wild Leap, they have 3 locations, and, you know, but the idea is that they'll share that space. You know, we want to do the roll-up doors, you know, the glass roll-up garage doors to where, you know, on warm days they can open the doors and kind of just let people migrate around out there.
And this will be open, the outside patio, with live music until 9 o'clock.
I mean, I wouldn't say on the daily it would be live music at 9 o'clock, you know,
But they both are going to be open 7 days a week. Is that correct?
Yeah, I would imagine the restaurants and brewery would be open 7 days a week. And they're here tonight if y'all have any specific questions for the brewery. But, yes, I mean, but as far as, I don't know if anybody's ever been to Wild Leap, but I mean, it's not really you know, it's a family-friendly environment. You know, we have no intentions of turning this into Sky Bar or anything remotely close to that. It's, you know, our
Great
goal here is
analogy.
to, you know, make this, you know, more of a family friend. I mean, you got a largely residential area on that side of town, and it's just a convenient site where people don't have to go all the way into downtown to eat. It'd just be a cool thing, so. Anything else?
More questions? Comments? You just had one. You had another one?
No, it's the outside music and the piped out music, even when the amplified music's not out there after 9, and you have a residential area surrounding it.
But if you'll look at our, let me show you our site. So we put together kind of a blown up area of where the outdoor venue here, right? So I mean, you're on the far front of
Right.
the site, abutting probably a 25,000 car a day road, you know, or close to it right there. So you're going to have traffic noise constantly already there. And we're, you know, if you, like I said, if you ever been to their venue, it's definitely not a loud venue and all that. I mean, it'd be mostly acoustic and things like that. And I think the traffic noise of Glen would probably drown out any music sounds that they're going to make, as far as to the, you know, nearby residential areas.
All right, anything else? Okay,
I move to approve conditional use 2023-17.
Second.
motion's been made and seconded. Now, it's recommended approval with conditions.
With conditions.
Second.
Had it seconded. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no.
No,
And the motion carries. One- 7 to 1?
yes.
6 to 1.
6 to 1.
6 to 1,
We're only
that's right.
6 now.
Oh. No,
Okay,
no, no.
we're ready now for the Webster Road Warehouse.
Yes, sir. This is a request for conditional use approval for a commercial support use, specifically a warehouse distribution facility. Will be located at 300 Webster Road, excuse me, in the industrial zoning district. The immediate property in the area south of Highway 14 here is zoned industrial. There is an existing mobile home park to the south or to the east that is zoned CDD, and there is a sliver of CDD also on the subject property. This is the site plan that was included in your packet, and here I've enlarged the overall site. The overall site is approximately 41 acres. It will need to be subdivided to create the development site. That will be about 17 acres. The initial development will be a 100,000 square foot distribution facility with 12 loading docks here. And the request also includes an area for expansion, 50,000 square feet here with an area for 8 additional loading docks. There will be, the current curb cut on McMillan will be closed and 2 new curb cuts will be created. The use is consistent with the industrial zoning district and the future land use designation of industrial, and staff recommends approval.
This is a private distribution center, right? It's not part of the industrial board's property, okay? All right, is the applicant here wish to make any comment about the project?
I'm Shane Yarbrough. I'm here standing in for Brett Bassman. I'd be happy to answer any
Okay.
questions you guys may have.
Okay, if you have any questions of the.
Yep.
Well, if not, then we will open the public hearing and see if there's anyone here who wishes to comment about this project. Yes, sir.
My name's Randy Jensen. I don't live on, nobody lives on, in the industry park there, but I work right across the street from that at 400 Webster Road. And I've just got some, I can't tell from this site plan you have here, but I do have some questions, and one of my biggest concerns is what will happen to the amount of large truck traffic that's coming in and out of McMillan. There's already a lot of that. But I have questions about the pond. What will this do to the pond that's on that piece of property?
We'll get that answer for you.
So I named the one concern is what's gonna happen with the traffic, and there's a lot of utilities, there's high-powered lines coming across there. I don't know what this construction will do to our power there. We've had a history of power disruptions in that park in the past, which were remedied pretty well, but I'm wondering if this will disrupt that again.
Okay. We'll get those questions answered and just as soon as the public hearing's closed, you sign in when you leave. Anyone else? Okay, there's no one else, so I'll close the public hearing and raise the two questions that I saw. One was what's gonna happen to the pond that's on that site? Representative, did they leave?
No, he's back here.
No. There he is. Couldn't see him.
Sorry, I guess it's my turn, right?
Yeah, it is your turn.
I'm not quite the stature Brett is, but hopefully, hopefully you guys will be okay with it for the night.
And your name?
The,
What's your name again?
I'm sorry, Shane Yarborough with the Foresight Group. So according to Brett, there will be no change in the pond whatsoever. The pond shall remain as it is. As it relates to traffic, this is a warehouse, and I believe the existing facility is being used as a fulfillment center, if that's the proper word. The reason this design is more of a warehouse function. It's 3 stories tall. It's storing the merchandise for extended periods of time. So it's not a quick turnover, kind of like a fulfillment facility. So I'm sure from a traffic perspective, these items will be looked at and taken into consideration, though. But I do know from a standpoint of there is a distinction and difference between a fulfillment type area, which has really quick turnover, a lot of traffic, versus a warehouse facility, which is more of a storage type facility.
What about the power, potential power interruptions? Anything on that?
I'm not aware of any power interruptions. I will say just one other comment, that the trucks will be able to use Webster entrance and can still use the McMillan New Drive. So just one comment that Brett had made about the traffic. So that is definitely being looked at and will be addressed. As it relates to power, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're concerned with any utility outages or power outages as it relates to this facility.
Okay. Any more questions? Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there any other questions or comments?
I'll move to approve KCU 2023 Webster Road Warehouse.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. And the motion carries unanimously. The next item is Mims Trail Subdivision, 13th edition.
Yes, this is a request for preliminary plat approval for a 56-lot performance residential development. It's located within the Mims Trail PDD, the southernmost portion, just south of the current terminus of Mims Trail. The development site is just over 17 acres. It includes 50 single-family detached lots, 3 open space lots. Here's one, another, and a larger one here. 2 outlots, one here to access the lift station, and another smaller outlot here for a storm pipe discharge. And there is an area here for future development. The plat meets the requirements of the subdivision regulations, and staff recommends approval.
Can you go back, there we go. So I'm trying to understand access to this property. How's that? Can't quite see what so it's.
There's a phase here, 11B, or I think maybe they've changed it to phase 12, that will be Mims Trail will come through here.
So there'll be a single access then,
Yes.
right there.
And then also,
Goodness sake.
Rutland here will come down
Okay, I didn't see
around.
that. Will that actually access the property? I mean, will that come through the property?
It will, yes.
Okay, all right.
It's Rutland Road.
All right, thanks.
Okay, I don't see a representative of the developer here, so we'll, oh, you are a representative, you have any more to add to that?
Brett.
I have no comments unless
Okay.
you guys have questions.
And, I'll open the public hearing, but I don't think that anyone here,
Have public.
no public here, so we'll close the public hearing and,
Move to approve PP 2023-022, Mims Trail subdivision, 13th edition.
Second.
motion been made in second for, approval. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no, and the motion carries. Next item of business is Herman Alexander Phase Two, Herman Alexander subdivision, I suppose.
This request is for preliminary plat approval for a 5-lot, single-family conventional subdivision. It consists of 22.53 acres and is located on the northern side of Bud Black Road. The property is zoned rural and is surrounded on all sides by property that is also in the rural zoning designation. The first phase of the Herman Alexander subdivision subdivided lots 1 through 3 in an admin plat subdivision and was recorded in October of 2022. Staff recommendation is approval with comments.
Okay,
John, are there any structures on any of these properties yet, or?
Not that I know of. I think a structure is in the works to be erected on lot 2 of phase 1, but nothing on the
So they're
phases in front of you.
Basically new, okay, thank you.
Where do they get their water?
I am not
Source of their
aware off
water.
the top of my head.
La Chipoca? It's not, it's too
think
far,
it's the city of
can't be La
Auburn.
Chipoca, can it?
okay, any representative of the petitioner here? If not, it requires a public hearing, so let the record show that we've opened a public hearing. And there is no response, so we will close the public hearing. So, is there any further discussion, or do you want that question answered?
Not, it's, my approval is not contingent on it, no. So, but I am
I
curious.
believe it is La Chipoca though.
Yeah.
Said.
I don't know who else it would be. I move to approve 2023-023.
Second.
Motion been made and second for approval. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no, and the motion carries. And this next one is the final plat for this same subdivision. And, I don't, unless you have anything to add to what you've already said. And it does not require a public hearing. It's a simple subdivision, so I have no problem with considering the final plat on the same evening.
Move to approve case FP 2023-020, Herman Alexander Phase 2.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no, and the motion carries. And I do believe that is the end of the list. Chairman has no communication. How about staff?
No communication?
Any announcements? The new planning
It's your
director
final
will be
meeting.
on board.
Oh, I'll be back. I'll be back around. I won't be a stranger.
Yeah, you're not gonna go too far. All right. But he will be on board, and we, as of Monday.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We look forward to Justice joining us next week.
Okay. Any other, if there's no other business, we will now adjourn.
Glad you voted.
50 minutes, that's not too bad.
Well, I think it's good. It's good.
Is she gonna be all right?